to avoid interest payments or penalties, we should have taken theirs, portion should have been paid.
You all got it? Yeah, I don't know, Sarah. I'll call it January 12th, Steelton Borough Authority meeting to order. Begin with the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, individual.
Liberty and justice for all. We'll call for public comment on agenda items only. So we have 2 members of the public. After you guys have any comments or want to say anything on the agenda items, we'll call for public comments later on also. We approve of the treasurer's report. The treasurer's report is attached to the agenda. I guess without Sarah Kent here, we really can't.
Ken will be here. He is very good.
He is included. So maybe we'll defer that till Sarah comes down. No communications, no unfinished business. Hey, if you want to go into your engineer's report?
Sure. Did everybody get my report? The first item there, the DEP consent order and agreement. And I always attach a table so you know exactly where we stand. I highlighted, of the 22 items, we've completed 19 of them. So we only have 3 to go. So we continue to stay ahead of schedule there. The next deadline is the end of February to complete the filter performance study. That is obviously well underway, and we certainly plan to submit within that schedule. And then the only other items remaining would be by March 31st to send in the results of some additional testing, summarize the results, and provide a final status report. Now, I said this from the beginning, we continue to make improvements. The staff continues to make improvements out there, but really, I don't think, once March 31st rolls around that we're completely out of the woods. This is really, we're doing what we can right now, but depending on how the filter performance study rolls out, we're going to immediately, prepare alternatives once we have all of the results in hand. So certainly there's been a lot of work done out there, and we've made drastic improvements in things, but we'll know for sure what we need to do going forward after the full study is complete, end of next month. On a related note, the notice of violation, while not in the consent order and agreement, is certainly related. It's a water issue. So we've continued to work with staff, with Ken, with Mark, with Sarah, to identify in conjunction with the consent order agreement stuff. We're also working side by side and trying to address the notice of violation, which obviously we don't take lightly. It's not the same thing, but it is a water quality issue that needs to be addressed. I said this at the last meeting. I think there are a couple things in play here. Certainly, and I read in the paper, I believe it was Ken that gave a good explanation. I think it was at a council meeting that the testing requirements for this HAA5, which is the violation that we got, they've changed. So 3-4 years ago, this wouldn't have been an issue. We can't look at it that way. It's an issue now, and we have to address it. The old way of doing it was you took the average of everywhere and you came up with the result, and if you were okay, you were okay. But now you have to look at each specific location. It's more stringent, and that's the world we live in, and I stand by that. I'm on board with DEP with that. We got to get better, and this is part of it. So we continue to work with staff, and I know Ken sent an email out, I think, on Friday, because I think we're at a point now where we could probably even have enough information to step those efforts up even more and get into some more detailed study on this particular issue now that we have some more of the test results that we were waiting for. So I'll be working with Sarah and Ken and staff to come up with a plan of attack to start addressing the numbers that we've seen so far to address that particular issue.
When is the next testing going to occur? I mean, does DEP do the testing?
It's quarterly, yeah.
Right.
September 30th.
September.
But it's not exact. I don't think
It's not like quarterly by like a fiscal year
Yeah.
or a calendar year.
It's
like,
just 3 or 4 months.
right, their
from the
calendar
last.
on that part is not like how we're used
Yeah.
to.
Is there any interim tests we can do? I mean,
we have been.
Okay.
We do monthly tests coming out of the plant.
right.
We've been doing that. So yes, we've been doing more testing than we need to.
So, I mean, the infraction is a fraction, but it was like 0.0005
Right.
deviation, which DEP says is slightly above
Right.
the standard. Do we know that we're below that standard? Now, like you said, anything above the guidelines is unacceptable.
Right.
Do we feel we're in compliance now?
It's not apples to apples because we're testing coming out of the plant.
They're tested.
Yeah, but based on that, I would say yes.
We should have some
Yeah,
feel.
we do.
We shouldn't be surprised by
Right.
DEP coming in and telling us we're,
Correct. And we do have that.
that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Remember, since that test, there's been a lot of improvements.
Yes, and I know that, and I know we've been adding with charcoal or coal. I mean, there's a couple things that we've done that we thought would help
Right.
this particular
Right.
situation.
Right.
Mark gave us a presentation last time.
Yeah.
So,
What is there a piece of equipment you buy?
Please.
Oh, there's been a few.
But not in regards to that.
Not specifically, but it
Right.
does. It does.
I mean, with that minor deviation, I would think anything, I won't say anything, but, with the steps, if we're taking some steps.
It's hard to, I mean, it was only off by like that small amount. You know what I mean?
0.0005, I mean, that's.
It's not just Steelton receiving those violations.
Right.
It happens.
Right.
And that, like Ken said, at one of the last classes he took, this was like a hot topic where
Right.
a lot of plants are also struggling,
Right.
and there's not much DEP has to offer right now, which is why it's frustrating
Right.
when it comes to this. That's what I remember Ken saying.
Yeah, I think the best way to summarize it, in my opinion, I mean, you have a really good 1970s plant. This was an award-winning plant.
Right.
Okay. The rules have changed since then, and I support that. I mean, we have to continue to get better. I'm not going to knock the new regs.
No,
I'm behind the new
We have
regs.
business.
We have to continue to get better. So you're trying to take this plant that, 30 years, even 10 years ago, this was an award-winning plant. And now the rules have changed a little bit, and we need to roll with the punches there and comply. So that's really the best way I can summarize it.
So the state compliance, there's always a